Hey, hi, hello, friend. So today our guest is Kylian den Toirneach. Kylian is an Irish Shire horse located just outside Washington, D.C., but only for the next 2 months, after which you can find him back in the LA area. He is the current runner-up for the North American Pony Leather title and is the host of the kink and fetish podcast Straight from the Horse's Mouth, found where excellent podcasts are heard. We took a graze around the paddock, if you will, and our talking points ran around from learning about the beginning of pony play and the headspace and history around it to the kink scene and the 3 C's of it: consent, communication, and connection. I learned so much in this conversation, and Jess and I had such a great time nickering away with Kylian. We hope you enjoy listening to our conversation as much as we had having it. Welcome to Season 7 of the Queer Consciousness Podcast. I'm Kit Sargent, and my pronouns are they, them.
And I'm Jess Grace Garcia, and my pronouns are they, them. We're just humans wanting to share the lived experience of other humans.
This season, we're talking about all things sex. We want to have deep, heart-led conversations as we unpack what sex means to us and why it's so important to talk about it.
This is a season of unlearning, relearning, and sharing about a topic that is still considered taboo.
Because at the end of the day, we are all spiritual, sexual beings having a human experience, walking each other home. Let's go. Kylian den Toirneach, welcome to Queer Consciousness.
Hello.
Honestly, I'm very excited for this conversation, mainly because this is going to be an absolute education for me. I am not a part of this space. I have never been a part of this space. So when it comes to this space, I am a complete virgin. So since we're doing this as a threesome, please be gentle.
I'll do my best.
Thank you.
Usually when I hear that, that means more lube. But yes. Then the question comes, water-based or silicone? But
yes, it would need to be water-based for me, for sure.
Yeah, understood.
When it comes to the space, I feel like most of what I've learned about pony culture, community, all of this is from you. So I'm excited to finally have you on, and I am thankful that I have listened to a good portion of your podcast, and your podcast is so awesome and educational. And the best title, Straight from the Horse's Mouth. What? That's a dope title.
Which is hilarious because I'm gay.
Exactly. My mother-in-law, every time it happened most recently at our last visit, we were driving down the road and she just kept being like, just go straight. And I was like, Mom, I don't know how to do that. And then finally she starts going, go queer. Queerly forward.
Queerly forward. Yes.
There you go. Fantastic. All right. Well, now that we've had that little loop breaker, Kylian, we're just going to start with the question that we start this new season with from the beginning, which is, what does sex mean to you?
Sex means a lot of different things for me. And I think that comes from being in the kink space and being in the leather space, but also growing up in the church. And so because of all those things, sex means a lot, could mean and does mean a lot of different things to me. I guess the best way for me is I can divide it down into 2 different things for me. Sex is either that very, very intimate connection with someone specific, that is an intimate connection that ends up getting physical. Context, I'm demisexual. So my experience in the kink world is actually not typical in terms of how I determine what sex is, I guess. Because for me, I like my strings attached when it comes to sex. And at first I thought that was church trauma talking. And then I realized, no, that's me being a demisexual and my desire for intimate connection with people. And so it's kind of like, for me, there's kinky sex, and then there's that very intimate version of sex. Where, so obviously intimate connection strings attached, very much like this is a physical representation of our feelings for each other. And then there's kink sex, which for me is just play. And it really comes down to like headspace and different context and different environments. And in that case, it's just kind of like, okay, this is obviously like there are no strings attached with this. This is just play. We're acting out a scene. It's just part of like the role play that we are doing in this scenario, in this scene.
Is that connected to demisexuality at all? Like, or is that just a completely separate, like when you keep saying just play, can you define what that means to you a little bit?
So I would say we'd have to go back further, which we have time. So
I would love to go back further.
let's go back further.
So let's go deeper. You know what I mean?
Here, let me pull the mic closer so I can really get into my podcast voice.
Don't kink shame me.
Too late. Okay, so let's go. We're going to start talking about culture and gay culture and leather culture, and let's and then how I don't fit into it very well. So and for context, the day that we're recording this, MAL, which is Mid-Atlantic Leather, just happened here in DC. It's a yearly convention of a lot of gay men. But thankfully it's starting to diversify. It's really diversifying now. So it's all leather people are coming to this thing. And we're talking like 2,000 to 3,000 people coming from all across the world for this event. And it culminates with the Mid-Atlantic Leather competition. And I bought a weekend pass because I like supporting the event. But also I went on Saturday. Didn't have the social battery to do Friday night. Went in on Saturday. Literally just went in to go shopping. Go spend too much money. Listen, this horse loves a sale. That's all I'm going to say. Everything I bought was on sale. It was great. But just like looking out across the lobby, and this is the Hyatt Regency right next to Capitol Hill. So like you step outside the Capitol building, the U.S. Capitol building is right there. Looking over the lobby is just a sea of half naked men in leather, either like in just jocks, in like chaps, like so much ass everywhere. It was beautiful, but also overwhelming. But it was beautiful. It's just like it's a sea of skin tone and black. It's the best way to put it.
Honestly, that sounds fantastic.
Right?
Honestly, it's cool. It's great. If I didn't just do a massive convention the weekend beforehand, I would have been there for a much longer period of time, but I was tapped out. But that being said, unlike other conventions that I go to, so like in my work, I'm at conventions and conferences that have a lot of programming throughout the day and things you have to go do and see and things like that. The only thing that's really on the program for this are the competition, meetups, and like the parties at night. Everything else is just social hour, and you're kind of expected to go make your own fun, if that makes sense. And, you know, cruising is a thing that happens a lot. The art of the cruise is a dying art, but is a thing, is a beautiful thing. And, you know, like random hookups and anonymous sex and all those types of things are very much a big part of this. And for me, that's not a part of that community that I have ever found I want to be a part of, only because I can't perform with a complete stranger, if that makes sense. So in the same way, in that same way with pony play, I usually do not get into a very like intense scene with somebody that I don't know already. And the reason why is because, and probably going to give more context here because I'm sure none of your listeners or a very few number of your listeners understand what pony play is and all of that. So
I think I was going to, I didn't want to interrupt you, but I was going to have you go back and give a little explanation of it.
All right, let's talk about pony play real quick. So most people are especially aware of what pup play is now because of its dominance of kink culture, but it's very much starting to get into pop culture a little bit more, especially in queer spaces. Pup play is kind of like pony play's little brother, is the best way to put it. Pup play originated in the leather scenes in gay clubs or gay bars after World War II in the leather scene, where pony play first recorded pony play is a story that was written down in the 13th century.
Oh, wow.
So it's a story of Aristotle and someone else, and Daphne, I think. I don't remember. But it was written in the 13th century. So pony play has been around for a very, very long time. Obviously not in the way that we see it now. But it's been around. And because it's so old, it's not as gay coded, if you know what I mean. It's not like predominantly gay people. It spans the gender spectrum. It spans the sexuality spectrum. It spans all the spectrums. So it's a much more diverse group of people. Through the 80s and 90s, pony play was really only relegated to the bedroom and seen in porn. Usually it was pony girls being dominated by a man. At some point in the 90s, those roles kind of switched.
I was going to say that's not at all how I would envision that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so in the 90s and 2000s, that role switched a lot, where it's a pony boy being dominated by a dominatrix, typically. As furries started to come and become much more prevalent, pony play has changed a bit, where that now pony play can go in many different directions, where it's just sex or bedroom play. There's role playing now. There's bondage. There's so many different ways. Where one or two horses are gathered, so too is pony play there. It's the best way to. You're welcome.
I love that.
So pony play has also diversified over time, just as the people participating in it have. So like for me, I'm more of a role play pony where like I get into the headspace of a horse. But also I really like the bondage aspects of it all as well. And so with that comes a lot of gear that gets included. And then this is my caveat where I always say you don't need gear to participate in pony play. All you need is a pencil and some yarn and you're good to go. Because if you can make a bit and some reins out of whatever, you're there.
Yeah, because it's all about headspace.
It's all about headspace. Now, that being said, in full kit, I have probably about $4,000 to $5,000 worth of specialized pony gear. For our Patreons who are listening, you'll see my hood over my shoulder up here. And all that gear, which I think people need to remember, is it's all bondage gear. You're putting yourself in a space where you are essentially at the mercy of the person you're playing with, if you're not careful. So like I have, these massive hoof boots that, pitch my height up another 11 inches, but also put me on my toes. So I can't, run, let alone stand very well. So, all of a sudden your energy is being used staying upright.
Would you be comfortable with us using like a couple photos that I might have even taken?
Okay, well, maybe not those because I've gotten way hotter since then and a lot thinner since then.
You've always been hot.
Fair enough, but I have lost 170 pounds since then.
That's true. So just for this is an ADHD podcast. It's just the way that it is. Queer and ADHD sometimes feels synonymous, but
everything's a spectrum.
It's true.
Exactly.
It's a Venn diagram, and in this case, it is a circle.
I've been friends with Kylian for 6 to 7 years now, I think, and so we go way back, and we actually are from the same state, but yet we met in California, which is just so funny. But yeah, so my level of giving him a hard time and like kind of diving in a little bit differently than you probably heard me or will continue to hear me with different people is because of the depth of our friendship. So I consider him to be one of my closest good friends. So yeah. So that I just wanted to give a background so that people understood why.
It's also the same reason why I was like, please be gentle. These two people know me not at all. One knows me very well. One knows me not at all. And I am now the outsider in this technically couple.
In this dynamic.
I am the third.
Jess has used a crop on me at one point. So I mean, like, it's yes. So gosh,
it was fun. It was fun to learn and kind of lean into what it means to be a friend and Dom in a playful space without it being sexual.
Yeah.
That was a really fun experience, and we could talk about that a little bit later, but that was really cool for me. We can also talk about it right now, but
I mean, yeah, we can. I mean, what's great was like the whole story was like we did a photo shoot in my backyard in California because I was like, I have this great backyard. I have this idea, but we need a handler. And so we grabbed another one of our friends to come in and do it. And Jess was like, great, I'm bringing the big camera. And after we took a bunch of photos, Jess was just like, okay, great. Grabs the reins and goes, all right, now we're really going to do this. And then just boom. And I'm just like, oh God. Here we go. And it was because our mutual friend was like, they're a sub. Let's just put it that way.
They are. Yeah.
And so they were there for the pictures and as a prop, basically. And Jess was just like, all right, we're going to show you how this is really done. And just.
Well, and I think it was helpful to get you in the right headspace.
Oh, it helped. Yeah, it was great. I just was not.
I think back then it took so much effort to get into all the gear that
it did.
It feels like, why did I do this? Okay, if I just did this for the photos, it's not as fun. But if I did this and also got like a little bit of a thrill and got to get into the right headspace, then this whole experience was good. Yeah. And so as your friend and someone who cares about you and someone who also was like having fun with the role play, it was fun for me to kind of like jump into that place and headspace with you, because I'm not one, like, I don't do D&D. I don't play games that are role play oriented. I know Kit does, and a lot of my friends do, but and I can't quite tell if it's because I have quite an imagination, but I can't tell if it's a roadblock or if it's just not for me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure if it's like, oh, I just haven't gotten there yet in my growth, or if it's just, that's not something that I'm into, but I love my friends who are into it. But that was because I felt so safe with you and the friend that we were with. It was easy for me to get there. I didn't feel like I was foolish or embarrassed, by playing.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, that's basically what it is in the long run, especially when there isn't a sexual component involved. It literally is just, we're using our imaginations and we're just suspending disbelief for a bit.
Well, and I think about, like, as children, how easy it was for us to be like, okay, you're a kitty cat now. Like, and like, I can get there when I'm like playing with children. Like, if kids are like, like, hey, you're a cat. I'm like, I'm a cat. Okay, I gotta work on this. I gotta get in the headspace of a cat, because this 4-year-old really needs me to be a cat right now.
Right.
And if I don't, I'm heavily disappointing them. So yeah, I don't know. It's like, I wish sometimes for that, like, childlike ability. And I feel like that's kind of the gift of those who do role play, is like that they can get there.
Yeah. And for a lot of people, the amount of like gear and accoutrement and all that they use is there to help them find that headspace.
And that's like a technical term that is used. I know we're all saying headspace, but we haven't really.
Oh yeah, no, headspace is a thing. And
yeah,
it's
if you would define headspace as the technical term that it's.
Yeah, well, so there are different types of headspaces. There's like sub headspace, there's pony headspace, there's DOMs get into a headspace as well. It's kind of like that moment where you do suspend disbelief, right? As a pony, for me, it's when it's like, okay, like active thinking kind of shuts off and I respond basically instinctively instead of like having like conscious thought of like, oh, well, now I'm going to do this or now I'm going to do this. It's just that it's that point where your brain just kind of shifts into the role that it wants to be in.
I feel like a lot of people can relate to it, and yet it's one of the things that I feel like I struggle with even in the lightest of role play, you know? Mm-hmm. Like my wife Erica would love it if I could get into that headspace a little bit easier. And I almost wonder, one of the things that, like, as I was listening to your podcast and even working on mastering it and things like that, I just kept thinking, like, I wonder if pursuing more education around kink space and specifically, you know, pony or pup play space, if it could help me to kind of get past whatever that block is. And maybe it's not gear mm-hmm. or specifically pony gear or something like that, but maybe there is something for me gear wise that I could mm-hmm. put on or engage in that could help my brain to get to that place of just instinct. You know what I mean? Like the way mm-hmm. that I do with guitar, like there's something about like when I pick up a guitar now that I've been playing it more professionally for the last like 5 years, I just play. Mm-hmm. It just happens, you know? When I sing, I go on a run. I don't think about what the next note is. It just happens.
It just happens, right? So that comes with practice. That comes with muscle memory.
Exactly.
So that's another part of it. It's, you know, you're doing it often. You're practicing it. I actually have not to pitch my own podcast, but I actually have an episode in the next season with a friend of mine who, no matter what they've tried, they can't get into headspace, and we talk about it. And it's
I'd be really curious to listen to that episode.
Yeah.
And you can absolutely pitch your podcast. This is a podcast. That's the whole point.
That's what we do at the end of the podcast.
We do. We can filter it through. Like, it's fine. You can be like, and we had this conversation about this on my podcast. So go ahead and check it out. Like, it's totally cool.
Okay. I got you. Well, on the next season of Straight from the Horse's Mouth, I talk with Shutter Doll, who is a phenomenal photographer here in the DC area, and a manager for the Crucible, which is the dungeon here in DC. And yeah, they talked about like they have all the gear. They've done pony play. They do a lot of different things, but they call themselves a pony accessory or pony by proxy because they just haven't been able to achieve that headspace. And we just talk about how, like, you know, that you're still part of the community, whether or not you hit that headspace or not. Like that's not the measure of a pony. The measurement of a pony is, you know, their heart and spirit and their desire to be part of a group that's larger than themselves. I got into a lot of hot water a couple of weeks ago because I was slightly drunk and tweeting and, well, blue skying, whatever you call that.
Tweeting.
Yeah. And was just like, okay, here's a spicy take. Just because you wear a pony gear does not make you a pony. And everyone's just like, what? And I'm just like, okay, calm down. Let's talk about this for a second. And the reason for a spicy tweet is to start the conversation.
Absolutely.
And the people who are really angry at me were actually friends of mine who are, you know, disabled and are ponies. And they're like, for some of us, this is as far as we can go. And I'm just like, yes. And you're also active members of the community. I'm talking about the people who are using it to clout chase on social media and only buy, you know, tens of thousands of dollars worth of pony gear because pony gear is Can I curse on this podcast?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Fucking expensive. Holy shit. Like from some of these makers to get like a full kit out, we're talking like $12,000 to $14,000 in gear. It's insane. It is insane. It's amazing. It is beautiful work. And like, do not get me wrong. It is worth every penny. But holy fuck, is it expensive? Like when I said like my kit's like $4,000, I made half of my own stuff, and it still costs that much. So like
that might be part of my problem too. Is I can't commit to any more expensive hobbies. I have too many expensive hobbies, but I identify with
motorcycles, espresso. Yeah, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, we really did get off topic.
No, it's fine.
It's all part of the topic, because like when you have to lay the foundation of like why you approach this topic, why you approach sex the way that you do.
Yeah,
especially from your perspective, being somebody in the pony play community, like that's a very, very niche way to approach a very, very broad topic.
Fair enough. Okay, carrying on then. So like, Jess, the way that you and I played that one night long, long ago, that's how I usually approach play at the Crucible because we have a monthly pony meet for the local herd. We have a herd chat of about 40 people, and that's one of the bigger ones for a location, especially ones that meet regularly. And now a lot of those people are also people who go to Camp Crucible, which is a 10-day long camp that's held north of Baltimore. That is just it's the dungeon, but it's like a week long on a campground. It's amazing. I was like,
are there stables?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah. And pony camp is like a huge part of it. So I'm planning on going this year, hopefully, if the schedule works out. So it's like ponies from both camp and from the local herd. But like the way that you and I played that one night is how I usually play at our monthly meetups, where it's just like I go in a horse headspace, and then someone usually handles me, and we do horse things. Like I get, there's a grooming scene typically, and then actual like horse training to a point where like I'm usually on a lunge line, which is the big rope, running in a circle, working on gaits and stuff, because in competitions, because there are pony competitions, there are many things out there in this community that you can train for. There's usually cart pulling. There's usually like pride parades are coming up that we're signing up for and doing things like that. So like training to be able to pull a cart with 2 people in it for miles. So a lot of it is like that kind of play. And
for our audio listeners, how would you describe your, like, the way you look in your mind?
Majestic as fuck? I don't know. What do you mean?
I love that. Yeah, well, like, there's all kinds of like horses.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So like also that comes down to like there are a bunch of different types of ponies and different ways that people will present themselves. There we go.
Yeah.
And I talk about this on my podcast. Straight from the horse's mouth, available anywhere that you listen to the podcasts and YouTube. But yeah, so like there are open face ponies who are kind of like the ones that you kind of used to see back in porn, where it's like, they have a bridle on, but you can still very much see their face. And then there are hooded ponies, which I'm one of, where I have a elaborately made leather hood that looks like a horse head. And so for me, I'm a Shire horse, so I'm a giant draft horse basically. So like I'm there to pull and work, and I'm here for a long time, not a fun time. So like I will pull a cart through DC. I've done it before for Capital Pride 24.
Wow.
Yeah. So I pulled a cart with 2 people through the 2-mile long parade route. No issues.
Impressive.
And so like that's the kind of stuff that I train for. Hard to do that in a show ring when you're doing competitions, but there are other things you can do. But yeah, so there are a bunch of different types of ponies and different, like, you kind of figure out like what breed you kind of identify with and you roll with that. And yeah.
Okay, cool. I was just curious.
That's
for like
fair.
every single thing that we're touching on, I feel like it's really just a little bit of like a touch, and then you go deeper on your podcast on so much. So it's
Kind of,
easy
yeah.
that people are like really curious. They can go over there to I feel like right now this is intro to pony play with Kylian, you know?
Which there's a whole episode on that too.
Yeah.
And a Google Doc. No, I got really tired of having to explain everything to new people, like who'll reach out through pick an app. They're all the same. They're all crap. And I'm just like, here's a link to a Google Doc, which is the not so quick start guide to pony play. And it's like 6 pages long. And it's just like, here's all the information you need to get started.
It's such a good peek into who you are.
You would don't waste my time.
Yeah.
Don't waste my time. I don't have time for this. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah, not all pony play is sexual. But it can be with the right people. I mean, you can go from a grooming scene to a breeding scene real quick, or it's like a sperm collection scene because stallion sperm is expensive as hell, and you know.
Oh, interesting. That makes sense. That would be a connection.
Yeah.
How do you deal with? I mean, like, I think about like because I do my best to be just open minded and not be a shamer. But I remember back in the day when I couldn't wrap my head around a lot of things. And it was harder for me to get into the headspace I'm in now, which is really like, oh, I just want to learn more, not like, ew, weird, just because I didn't understand it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
How do you deal with people who are more on that side of things, who aren't, do you just avoid them? You just tend to be like, okay, we're not friends. You're not the kind of person I want to be around. Or, you know, do you get surprised every now and then? Do people just like go, I don't know, that seems weird. Like, I just feel like I'm sure you have a response. I'm sure you have a prepped, like, way of dealing with people like that. But
I mean, I usually don't surround myself with people like that, is the best way to put it. Like, actually, recently, one of my Instagram reels got pushed out beyond the normal reach. And so, like, I think it's at like 200,000 views or something.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird. And the comments you get from normal people are wild. And I'm just sitting there going like, wow, you're really brave to comment on this when I can go to your profile and see exactly who you are.
Yeah.
And see all of your stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you're really fucking brave because, like, guess what? The internet is not an anonymous wall. It isn't.
Yep.
Like, if you dig deep enough, you can figure out who I am through my kink socials. You can figure it out if you really try to connect the dots. Now, that being said, I don't care if you do or not, because frankly, what are you going to do? Tell my parents? Oh no. Like, I'm at that point where, like, I'm very open about what I do with my friends that, actually they're all very supportive. Even the straight normies are just like, that's cool, actually. And especially after they see like a picture, it's just like, oh shit, that's actually really cool. Like last month I was competing in the North American Pony competition, which is an international leather title. I came in second. So close. So close.
Whoa, dude. You were working hard on that for a while too.
I am both relieved and pissed that I didn't get it.
Second place is tough. That's like, it's different if you get like even third or fourth, but like second place, oh God.
Yeah. But knowing the person who runs the title, like the producer of it, is kind of a pain in the ass to work with. So this is the year of reform, is the best way to put it. And I've told everyone who's like, so are you running again? I'm like, not until she's not running it anymore, because I'm not dealing with her. But anyway, that's all to say. At that competition, it was actually held in Baltimore this year, and which made my life a lot easier living outside DC. But I had like college friends, normie college friends, come to the competition and support me. I had coworkers from my old studio job come and support me. And it's just like, yeah, if you know me, then you know this part of me because it's such a big part of who I am and what I do.
Yeah. You're not in the closet about it.
Not really. It's
professionally, that makes sense. Like to me, like professionally, you're just protecting your like professional world,
my professional image. Yeah, basically. And even then, those circles are quickly getting smaller and smaller, which is also funny, hilarious, and not surprising knowing the industry I work in.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, for fuck's sake, my license plate says Rubber Pony. So like on both the car and the bike. So like, it's not like I'm hiding it.
Yep.
My family's just really dense. It's okay.
Sometimes ignorance is bliss.
Yes, it is. And what are they going to do? Write me out of the will? Oh, no. There's nothing there. It's fine. But yeah. Yeah. So, I mean,
we were talking about physical versus like to go all the way back with the bunny trail. It's you kind of went off talking about some of the physical differences between that, and then maybe you want to go back to your demisexual headspace around like, intimacy.
Yeah. So like the Crucible will host events. There's one that they do called Lobo, which is lights out, barks out. And well, there they call it Animal House. And really it's like a pet play, like party that's also kind of a rave, but like imagine a rave in a dungeon. So basically open play with the dungeon, but good music essentially. Mm-hmm. And like I'll show up in full pony for that every once in a while. And some people like want to get sexual and have fun and like go all out. And like I'm just like, I don't know you. Yeah. I can't like, yeah, we can go like, you can like fondle me and whatever, but like don't expect like a full on like, I'm not gonna like go into one of the dark rooms with you and like fuck your brains out because I can't. It doesn't work. Like my brain does not make those connections to be able to do that. And like also like, you know, being a pony, you also then like cross into furry spaces. So like over this last year, I've been to a couple of furry conventions as well. And figuring out that side of me as well. Surprise, surprise to absolutely no one. We blame Disney for everything.
Yes, we do.
It was The Lion King 2. Why did they make Kovu so fucking sexy? I don't understand. And then like Daddy Simba, way better than like adult Simba in the first one. Daddy Simba who sings, it's just like, oh.
That's so funny.
Oh no, like that movie was an awakening. It was just
Disney was an awakening for so many people on so many levels.
Oh yeah. Like everyone's like, oh, it was Robin Hood. I'm like, Robin Hood was before my time. It was The Lion King.
Uh-huh.
Which is why there is a lion persona somewhere in there. And I'm actually like tracking tweets from a maker who's going to be dropping a very specific like hood head that they've been working on Friday. And after this is done, I'm going to go text him and be like, how about you just sell it to me now? Let's just talk now.
Hey friend, this is a labor of love for both me and Jess. But in order for us to continue making this podcast, we do need to play the capitalism game. So if you'd like to support the work that we do here, please go check out our Patreon at patreon.com/queerconsciousnesspodcast. Jess and I have big plans for the Patreon and the podcast, and we need your support in order to do those things. Thank you.
So what were we talking about? Something to do with pony play. And oh, right.
Something to do with pony play. The entire fucking podcast.
I was like, funnily enough, as we were all like, as you two had gone off and done your things, I actually made a little note that I was like, the demisexual need for connection in terms of around pony play.
Oh my God. Okay, so actually that's really good. So let's talk about that because I think that's something that also gets missed in pony play a lot. And especially when you think about pony play versus pup play. Because pup play, I mean, I'm going to be a bitch for a minute and just be like, listen, pup play has been co-opted by like those like catty gays who are just like, oh, look at her. And like, it's really become like a clique, especially in whatever community you're in. I tried pup play when I lived in Long Beach and I just could not get in the scene because one, I was bigger than everybody there, which they're like, you're a bear, go be with the bears. And I'm just like, first off, fuck you. Second off, no. Yeah, being like told to be in a certain community because of the way you look and the way that you present yourself is fucking stupid.
Yes.
Like my therapist keeps going like, you should get on Growler because, you know, you look like a bear and the chasers will love you. And I'm just like, oh, okay, but like bear is a bear, otter, twink, whatever. As much as it is a physical attribute, it's also so much an attitude.
Yeah.
And I don't subscribe to that at all. So,
I've hung out with plenty of bears, and in some ways I identify as kind of like a non-binary bear, but I'm also demi, and that's been my like struggle in those spaces is they're very touchy-feely and they're very like they just put their hands on you right away. And if I'm not ready for that,
right,
then I'm not in the right headspace.
If I'm not in that headspace to do that, then it's like, don't get me wrong, I like legit
because I like to be petted and I like hugs and I like all the things, you know,
I need to be ready for it.
Yes,
like don't get me wrong, I have this fantasy that like a handler brings me into a leather bar, I'm in like full kit, basically. They like hitch me to a post in the middle of this bar, they go get a drink, right? And they're watching from afar. So their eyes are on me the whole time. But basically it's just like, okay, go pet the horse, right? And like all these guys basically start coming and petting and whatever.
For the listener who doesn't actually know any, like maybe some of these terms are new to them, which is an interesting thought because I think gay culture has done a pretty good job of having things, like certain things being pop culture, whatnot. But like, it's interesting because we've referenced pup, right? And pup is a leather scene, like a kink scene, community. And then then there's pony, but then bears, it isn't the same like way of thinking.
They're not like a leather scene. They are a community of larger men, basically.
Furry, often.
Furrier men. I'd say hairier because when I hear furry, I think furries.
Oh yes, hairier is, yeah, I can understand that. So yeah, that's just I wanted to explain that difference.
Add some definitions. This podcast needs a glossary of terms involved.
We'll just link that document in the bio.
Oh, yeah, I'll just give you the whole website because it's coming. It'll be out before this episode is. So,
okay, amazing.
But yeah, so like this whole idea of like, you know, and a handler is someone who handles the sub. Let's just continue on with our definition, shall we? So like a handler like has you hitched to a post in a leather bar and basically lets the guys go to town, but always they're watching, making sure like, you know, they're not abusing the horse type of thing. I actually had a situation recently at a convention where a friend of mine, well, I guess at this point, not really a friend, didn't read the room and actually did get too handsy in a public space to the point where like just way too rough. And to the point where like I snapped and got in his face. I'm like, no, you're done. And basically kicked him out of the convention.
Oh, wow.
I'm just like, go home because I'm done with you.
Handsy with you or handsy with
handsy
others?
with me. Like, and we had played in the past, but it's just like, couldn't read the room, couldn't read the situation. And I'm just like, this is the second time you've done this. I'm not doing this anymore. And yeah, I'll give you more details on that one later. But
yeah, no, and that's gotta be difficult because it's one of the things that I've learned so much from my friends who are in kink spaces is like how valuable like conversations beforehand, communication, consent, like staying like sober enough to be
that was part of the problem.
yeah, like to be aware of like what it is that you're doing and what's allowed, and yeah, I've
and just
found
reading the room. Oh my God.
Absolutely,
Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and there's some unfortunate outliers of people who have used kink language, kink space as a place to, or as an excuse to abuse, and like there are people who've never been in those spaces who don't know that it's so consent driven, consent oriented, and they get this horrible experience of of BDSM or whatever, and they don't they think that it's not a safe place to be, when really it's one of the safest places.
One of the safest places, yeah, absolutely.
You can be. I mean, like I'm going to say the obvious person I'm thinking of is Armie Hammer. Like,
oh yeah,
like he's an actor who was heavily in the news a couple of years ago for just hurting people,
yeah,
causing abuse, rape, all of this kind of stuff that like physical abuse, just by utilizing BDSM language to excuse his actions.
No, there's a film now making its way through the indie film circuit called Kylian. It was actually an Irish film. So it made its Irish debut probably about a month ago, and they just got shown at MAL this last weekend, and now it's like on a US tour. And it depicts a BDSM relationship between this other man and this guy who was like completely uninitiated. And some people are like applauding it for showing a BDSM relationship, but most of us are sitting there going like, this is not a healthy one. This is really not a healthy one, and it needs to be talked about.
Didn't 50 Shades have that whole narrative around it too when it first came out?
Yeah, that one definitely had some issues with it. I never saw 50 Shades of Grey, to be honest.
I didn't either. I couldn't stand the book. I had to pick the book up off the shelf. Complete tangent really quickly. I'm one of those people who, especially when it comes to like massively popular books, so I did this with Twilight, I did it with Harry Potter, I did it with a lot of the really big books that get turned into movies, where I'll go pick up the book and I'll just flip open to a random page and read like 2 or 3 pages just to see how the author writes. Because I'm like, if I can't stand how this author is actively writing the book, it doesn't matter how good the plot is, I'm not going to be able to get past the grammar and the sentence structure. Right. And that's exactly what ended up happening. Is I was like, did they just copy and paste this from fanfiction.net? Because that's literally what it seems like.
Yeah.
Well, it was a fanfic.
It was a fanfic of Twilight. And that's and you can tell when you're actually reading I'm like, did this actually go through an editor? Because I am just a nobody who is just mildly interested in the English language and how it works, and I am picking out grammar issues and sentence structure errors. How?
I think it tells you how curious people are to expand their ideas around sex. And like the most popular like I guess the demographic that subscribed to it the most was moms, like and in there
well, then how much of that is really about escapism?
Yes, absolutely.
That's a whole nother podcast.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, like smut is a big part of what my wife reads, and the escapism is a part of the pain. Like she has chronic illness, and so she escapes her pain by reading a good percentage of what she reads is smut.
See, I'm the same way, but with like cozy core books.
Yes,
like the Legends of Latte seasons.
Oh, she loves Legends.
The 3rd book is out.
She's probably already at
and it's half off at Barnes & Noble right now because it's a hard copy. I'm just saying. I picked it up 2 weeks ago. Haven't started it yet, but I have it. It's escapism is a huge part of it. And honestly, escapism is also a big part of BDSM. And it's a big part of pony play because like I use it to like, I'm a big deal. And like, so like but like in all of my jobs, I'm the decision maker. Like I've either been the director of a department, director of a company, director of, oh God, too much. And so I'm like the decision maker in all these organizations. And so I've used pony play as a way to escape that and as a way to be able to shut off my mind for 4 hours and just go be a horse for a while and not have to like be able to put my phone down for a while and just go and do the thing instead.
It's interesting because I'm thinking about, how you started in terms of talking about demisexuality. And I do feel like a lot of, at least the women that I've met who are in like BDSM kink spaces, they tend to identify as more demi than not. And so it's interesting that when you described, gay male spaces of this like kink world, that that you are an outlier as a demisexual. But I almost wonder if like that's just the way that it appears right now because of the way the space has been built. Because I feel like there's a lot more people like you, just because the women that I've met have been like you.
I think so too. And so like let's dig into that a little bit more, because and this will bring us back to that idea of demisexual and pony play. Demisexuality and pony play. Because like there's a web in my head and I swear this is all going to connect. So like give me a minute, we'll get there. So like for me,
just take a mosey through the field, you'll be fine.
We're going to just go for a quick little graze through the paddock, if we will. So for me, like in terms of pony play, my big thing that I'm looking for is a handler. And the reason why is in pony play, unlike what I see a lot in pup play, because pup play seems to be becoming more like packs where it's like a bunch of pups that just like hang out together type of thing. Pony play for me has always been a partnership between a horse and a handler that are working towards a common goal, whatever that may be, whether it's like dressage, carpooling, whatever. It's usually two people who are working towards a common goal. And so for me, I feel that in pony play, there is a very deep, intense connection between the handler and the pony, especially if it's a handler that you work with constantly and trust and really work together, because that's what it really is. It's a giant trust building exercise. And like that then comes down to like what I'm looking for in a partner in terms of who I want to, just like in pony play, I want a partner who I can trust greatly, who we're working towards a common goal together. And I talked about this in my last episode of my podcast from season 1 in the Q&A. And so then when we think about it, as we move towards like then the wider leather community and kink communities, especially the gay ones, I mean, it's just another reflection of what the larger gay community is like. So just like how in gay spaces, cruising is a big thing, that's still a very large thing in the leather community. However, what I will say is that there has been a very large rise in people who identify as asexual who are in kink spaces.
Yes,
a lot of people are realizing that they are actually gray ace, and that kink is their way of finding sexual attraction is through kink.
I would say, I mean, like, and I think my wife would be okay with me saying this, but I would say that that's true for her.
Yeah. Like, I know that's true for a very close friend of mine, is that, well, for them, it's a furry thing, but like, that's where they found they are gray asexual, but they found that their sexual interests lie within that community. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting that like, as you go through people's profiles and stuff on Recon, which is for kinky gay men, it's a terrible app. It really needs to get fixed. There used to be a great website called Gear Fetish that really needs to come back. But that hasn't been around since like 2017, unfortunately. But like FetLife and, Instagram and Twitter and Blue Sky and all these things, you'll see people identifying as asexual, but are very active in the kink communities and kink worlds. And that's where they find their sexual attraction, is based around those kinks. So, but then there will still be, homo romantic or heteroromantic, et cetera,
Sure.
et cetera, et cetera. But so we're finding the rise of that a lot, especially in gay leather spaces, which awesome. But then that means that, I think that then the rise of the demisexual is also there as well. People who are looking for that connection of just being either with one person or being with people that they really trust, that they can then explore these spaces with. Because you'll still have like leather families are still very much a thing.
This podcast is hosted by me, Kit Sargent, co-hosted and produced by Jess Grace Garcia of Springward Productions, and the theme music is by Brian Smith of Holy Holy Music Productions. If you could do us a huge favor and please like, follow, comment, share, do all of the things on all of the socials. You could follow the podcast on Instagram @_queer.consciousness for all the latest episodes as well as any other exciting news. When you're listening on Spotify, please leave a 5-star rating and use the comment box for anything you'd like us to talk about. When you're listening to Apple Podcasts, please leave a comment and a 5-star rating. If you'd like to be on the podcast, send a message to queerconsciousnesspod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support the podcast, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/queerconsciousnesspodcast. We are trying to grow as organically as possible, and this helps other like-minded people who want to empower and encourage others on their journey. So until next time, remember to stand in your truth and know that you are worthy, just as you are.
We are the Deadly Faith Podcast, a show exploring where religion and crime collide. I'm Lacey.
And I'm Lola.
If you're interested in learning about cults, murderous ministers, and religiously charged crimes, look no further.
We invite you to journey with us into the dark church halls to find out what cults are hiding among us and which deranged church leaders are locked behind bars.
But we'll take a look at the religious factors that may or may not have contributed to their heinous crimes.
You can subscribe or follow the Deadly Faith Podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. Now back to the show.
Hey friend, just wanted to take a quick second to remind you that if you or someone you know is struggling and don't know where to turn, the trained volunteers at the LGBT National Hotline are here to help. Because sometimes the strongest thing to do is to ask for help. The National Hotline phone number is 888-843-4564. And if you want to check out the other things that they have available for them to help you with, you can check out the lgbthotline.org in order to be able to see all of the services that they offer in order to help our community.